Hello, Kentucky. Yes, it will be a horrible game contra the Arkansas, but obviously we expect a great win from Pope on the Cal team. What can we expect from this game? Let's get the news, but first subscribes to the channel. Season 2025-26 promises to be marked by intense emotions, fierce rivalries, and an expectation that hangs in the air like a cloud loaded with possibilities. At the center of this storm is the confrontation between two sports giants, Mark Pope, Kentucky's new face, and John Calipari, ahead of Arkansas Razorbacks. This game is not just another duel on the SEC agenda. It is a symbolic meeting, a moment that marks the beginning of a new era for both programs. The match between Kentucky and Arkansas, scheduled to take place in Fayetteville, will be the only confrontation among the teams in the regular season. Although it is a lonely clash, the magnitude of the game transcends the calendar. For Kentucky fans, there is a mix of anxiety and optimism. After all, we are talking about a team led by Mark Pope, whose arrival at the Wildcats' technical command brought a wave of renewal and hope. After taking Kentucky to Sweet 16 last season, something that has not happened since 2019, Pope has shown that his strategic vision and ability to extract his players as much as possible. Now he will face the challenge of measuring forces with his former mentor, John Calipari, who, even on the other side of the court, remains an influential figure in Pope's life and career. Prognoses for the season put Kentucky in the 5th position in the initial rankings of the ON3, while Arkansas appears behind in 11th place. These numbers reflect not only the individual talent of the teams, but also the weight of expectations deposited over them. The Wildcats will feature the return of Otega Owe, the team's top scorer last season, and Brandon Garrison, two fundamental pillars for the team's success. On the other hand, Calipari will have names like Carter Knox, DJ Wagner, Billy Richmond, and Trevon Brazile, all athletes who have tasted their value on the NCAA courts. It is evident that this will be a game full of stars, where each possession can be decisive. Remember that the last meeting between Kentucky and Arkansas, held in February last year, was a watershed for the Razorbacks. At that time, Calipari was returning to Lexington for the first time since his move to Arkansas, and the Razorbacks came out victorious, 89-79. That victory not only sealed Calipari's triumph in a highly emotional scenario, but also boosted Arkansas towards an impressive campaign, culminating with his participation in important tournaments. For Kentucky, that setback served as a fuel for the future. Under Pope's command, the Wildcats learned to turn defeats into valuable lessons, and this was reflected in their later campaign. Now, with a solid transfer class and the continuity of key pieces like Otega Owe, Kentucky enters next season with clear aspirations, playing the national championship. Confidence in Pope's work is palpable, and fans have good reason to believe that the best is yet to come. His modern approach to the game, combined with a philosophy that prioritizes the individual development of players, has everything to put Kentucky again at the top of university basketball. On the other hand, Calipari, always a cunning strategist, seeks to consolidate Arkansas as a power within the SEC. With a talent-filled cast and its accumulated experience, over decades in charge of large programs, it will surely do everything to ensure that the Razorbacks maintain their prominent position. The duel against Kentucky, therefore, will be a crucial test for both teams. It will also be an opportunity for Calipari and Pope to measure strength, not only as technicians, but as figures that represent different generations of university basketball. With 16 teams at the conference, each team faces 3 opponents at home and outside, as well as 6 home games and 6 only out. This means that each match counts, and the fact that Kentucky play only away from home against Arkansas adds an extra element of difficulty. However, Pope has already shown that he knows how to motivate his players for challenging matches. Your leadership style, based on mutual confidence and meticulous preparation, will be essential to overcome the hostile environment that surely expects Wildcats in Fayetteville. But let's go ahead. In a move that reinforces the program's global vision, the Wildcats are eyeing an international gem, Luigi Sfigo, an 18-year-old, 7'3" center from Italy, who is already drawing interest from some of the biggest powers in American college basketball. The news, reported by On3's Joe Tipton, puts Kentucky in the running for this raw talent, whose presence could transform the team's future and reignite BBN's passion. Sfigo, who recently played for Olimpia Milano, one of Italy's most prestigious clubs, is more than just a tall player. His performance in the Adidas Next Generation EuroLeague tournament, where he averaged nearly 10 points and 1.6 blocks per game, shows that he already has solid fundamentals for an athlete his age. Even more impressive is his performance in high-profile events like Basketball Without Borders, where his physical measurements have been a big hit, 7 feet 3 inches tall, combined with a 9 feet 6 inches wingspan. These numbers not only highlight his defensive potential, but also suggest he can become a dominant force in the paint, something Kentucky fans know to appreciate. The arrival of a player like Swigo on the Wildcats' radar is a testament to Mark Pope's new approach, who has shown a commitment to scouting talent beyond the U.S. borders since taking over. Pope brought Croatian Andrija Jelavic to the roster for the 2025-26 season, signaling that the program is willing to explore the international market to maintain its competitiveness. Swigo, with his combination of size, mobility, and developing skills, represents the kind of asset that could take Kentucky to the next level. In a sport where presence in the paint often defines success, having a player with those characteristics is a strategic differentiator. In addition to Kentucky, other powerhouses such as Purdue, Illinois, Louisville, BYU, and Texas A&M are also in the running for Swigo, which makes the recruitment even more intriguing. Purdue, in particular, appears to be a strong contender, given its recent history of success with tall players like Zach Edey. However, Kentucky's appeal is undeniable. The program's tradition, with its 8 national championships and passionate fan base, is a powerful draw for any young athlete. For Swigo, the opportunity to play at Rupp Arena under the spotlight of one of the most passionate fan bases in the country could be the deciding factor. The importance of an international player like Swigo to the Wildcats goes beyond his immediate impact on the court. He brings a global perspective that enriches the program, both culturally and tactically. European basketball, known for its emphasis on fundamentals, teamwork, and versatility, has produced players who adapt quickly to the American college style. Swigo, with his experience with Olimpia Milano and the Italian U17 national team, where he recorded 7 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 1.7 blocks per game at the 2024 FIBA U17 World Cup, has already demonstrated that maturity. His ability to play as a rim protector, combined with reports that he is developing his perimeter shooting and passing skills, suggests that he can be more than a traditional center, aligning perfectly with the modern style of basketball that Pope seeks to implement. Swigo's impact is also resonating with the fan base. Kentucky is a school that breathes basketball, and the arrival of a high-potential international prospect rekindles the pride of a fan base that expects to see the Wildcats compete at the top of the NCAA. The 2026 class, which already boasts elite targets like #1 ranked Tyron Stokes, could be a landmark in the Pope era, especially if Swigo chooses Lexington as his destination. His presence in the paint would be an ideal addition to the roster that is being constructed, providing a defensive anchor and an offensive threat that can open up the gaps for the team's shooters. While Swigo is not yet ranked, his status as a 4-star prospect on On3 reflects the excitement surrounding his potential. At 18, he is just beginning to explore his capabilities, and Kentucky's development environment, with its history of turning young talent into NBA stars, is ideally suited to help him reach the next level. Competition for his commitment will be fierce, with visits to programs like Purdue and Indiana scheduled, but the fact that Kentucky is in the running is cause for optimism, and of course Pope should make a big push to bring him in. Let us know what you think.